Man. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of GameStack Podcast. You're listening to episode 141, Nintendon't. I'm your co-host, Vendertron, and joining me right here on We Just Love Games Network also is Shalene. Hello, Shalene.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm
Oh,
okay.
no. What happened?
Okay, so
Oh, no.
I had to leave work early on Monday because I was having some rumblies in my tummy
Oh, no.
and it was a bad time. The times were bad. And I have been like deathly ill for days with
Really?
some kind of stomach bug. Yeah, like Archon was nursing me through it. It was hard times. Today I'm doing better. Today I feel
Okay.
like pretty much human. But for a while I was like struggling to hold down water,
Oh, man,
basically.
that's bad. Sounds like a
Mm,
norovirus or something.
I don't know. I didn't go to the doctor because I don't have
Why?
healthcare yet.
Why would you go to the
Um,
doctor for a flu? Um, I wasn't being sarcastic. I'm being serious. I mean, there's
yeah,
there's nothing the doctor can do.
they can't do
They're gonna
anything.
send you home and say drink
Tell you to
fluids.
hydrate. Yeah, rest and hydrate.
um, is it going
But
around in the office? Is that maybe
well, I heard that one of the other ladies had some sick kids around the time that I got it.
sick kids?
So it was probably the sick kids, but I don't really know where it came from. I just know that it came for me hard, and
Ugh.
um, I was so sick, Bender. I was so sick.
Well,
Like, oh, it was a bad time.
I'm glad that you're on the mend
Hmm.
and you're able to do a show this week because we've been sort of puddle jumping on our weeks of doing shows.
Yes.
So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, it's nice to have you on the
Glad
show.
to be here. Glad to be well enough to do it.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, my week was super busy. I got an important document finished that I needed to get done. So I sent it off for final review and stuff, which was a lot of work. That was
Mhm.
yesterday. Um, and I actually kind of like took today off, sort
Oh,
of. Like
a day off, you.
I did some work, but my pedals came in. So I spent a better
Ooh.
part of the afternoon trying to set those up, which has been a pain in the ass. I still haven't figured it out. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm tired. Tired. We have a great show though for all of you listening. If you are just coming in and you're listening live, thank you for joining us live every week. We love you. We hope that more of you can join us on the live show right here on twitch.tv/we just love games. If you can't, that's okay too, because we post the show online to various podcast platforms, including iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, etc. The show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show and bring them on over to the best little corner of the internet on a Friday. Um, and And we also, if you do miss the show, you can always join us in our chat after dark, the Discord community. Shalene, how can people join that?
You can join our Discord by clicking the link on our Twitch page. That link is live, whether or not the show is. So you can visit twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Click that link and you'll be part of our Discord. Alternately, shoot us a message on social media. We'll get you an invite.
Yeah. The Discord has been super busy. And I am now just realizing that I actually forgot to load the screenshots and stories. So I will be doing that during our news segment this evening.
Mhm.
Speaking of news, we have a very, very robust lineup of news, including the new releases for the month of March. We are catching it just in time, Shalene. We also are going to give you an update on the stock market for the video game industry this week. We might have some mail. I think we've got some mail on the stack.
We do.
And once I get those screenshots and stories into the show notes, we will go through that. And then we're also going to talk about our gameplay. But let's hop right into it with this just in. Take it away, Shalene. Oh, wait. Am I doing the new releases?
Well, I figured you would, but if you're real busy, I can do them.
No, I can do the new releases for now. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We've got new stuff. It's March 3rd, which means that we've actually missed the first 2 days of March. So I'm going to list off.
Can I preamble this real quick? I just want to say that I put them together this time. So if there are any inconsistencies and or errors, it is of course not the fault of the esteemed Joseph Tao.
Oh, I mean, we can blame him anyways.
I mean, so I'm gonna call him out. Can I call him out?
That's perfectly all right.
So be the list for April.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that we had April's list. Huh.
Yeah, he sent me the list for April, so I had to put March together.
Well, the first 2 days of March have already gone by, so the first few bit of games that I'm going to list here, you're already going to be able to pick up. And the first is The Day Before, which comes out on PC, Fight and Rage, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Elephant on PC, Leap on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as King of the Castle on March 2nd on PC. And then we also have Meg's Monster, which comes out on PC, Xbox One, and the Switch. And then also Ruined King, A League of Legends Story on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and that's on March 2nd as well. Wolong, Fallen Dynasty comes out today on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, Series X and S. Dead Cells, Return to Castlevania comes out on March 6th on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. On the 7th, we have Outlanders and Hotel Renovator, which comes out on a PC. I think I would like to try Hotel Renovator.
I feel like that would be right.
I feel like that would be super fun. And then we also have on the 7th 3 other games. Romancevania, which comes out on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and the PS5. And you have
we've
something to say about this?
Yes. Romancevania. Bite into Romancevania, a darkly comic genre mashup, combining side-scrolling action and tongue-in-cheek romance into one completely absurd and unforgettable adventure.
Imagine it.
I just want to watch this.
I have ads, so we're just gonna skip the ad and we're rolling the B-roll. Here we go.
Oh, this is wild. This is absolutely wild.
Oh, look at these skellies. They're so cute.
I feel like I need to team stream this with Tim.
Can you explain this for our audio listeners?
So part of the time, it looks like you're doing a Castlevania style game. And part of the time, there's a lady with pumpkin boobs. Yeah. This is wild.
And that handsome, pumpkin boobs, indeed.
Pumpkin boobs.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. This
is wild.
Pumpkin boobs. All right, I can't get over the pumpkin boobs, but we'll talk about that when the game comes out. Also coming out on the 7th, The Outer Worlds: Spacer's Choice Edition on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I love The Outer Worlds. I wish they would do more DLCs for that.
Yeah.
And then also on March 7th, Pronti comes out on the Switch. And then Paranormasight, The Seven Mysteries of Honjo, out on PC and Switch on March 8th. And then Project Zero, Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, comes out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and the Switch on March 9th. Also on the 9th, Figment 2, Creed Valley on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. Clash, Artifacts of Chaos, comes out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch on March 9th as well. And then also we have Do Not Feed the Monkeys, $20.99, coming out on PC. The Last Spell on PS4, PC, and Switch. IB, or IB, coming out on Switch. And then also No by Heart on Switch. Monster Energy Supercross 6 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Also, Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Also on the 9th, Session, Skate Sim, coming out on Switch. That's a lot of games coming out on March 9th.
That's a ton.
I just want to say that was like 20 games.
The whole month of March is just wild.
So
many games.
Onward, on the 10th, we have 3 games coming out. DC's Justice League, Cosmic Chaos on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. Mato Anomalies on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. And also Before Your Eyes on PlayStation VR 2. Then, on the 13th, we have Rough Justice, 84, coming out on PC. And then on the Xbox One and Series X and S on the 14th, we have Valheim. On the 14th, we also have The Wreck, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. Hell of an Office, Steam Early Access on PC, coming out on the 14th as well.
I used to work there, didn't I?
Are we looking?
We're looking this one up.
Are we looking this one up? Okay.
Hell of an Office, a fiendishly fast 3D platformer where you play a frustrated office worker in hell. Rocket jump and dash through a satanic office block, outrun the rising hellfire, and wield the power of your trusty stapler as you race to escape an infernal 9 to 5. And yeah, you've got a stapler in your hand. Like that's your tool, your weapon. You're just dashing through stuff. It is indeed an office building in hell.
I feel like there should be like a melee of paper clips that you could just like.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Right?
Just this looks actually like a pretty good time.
I feel like you should play this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you should play it.
I think so too.
We also have on the 14th, The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Azure, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. The Wreck on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
That's my fault. That's a repeat. We already said that.
Oh, we did?
We did. I'm sorry.
Then on the 15th, we have Flooded coming out on PC. On the 16th, we have Post Void on PS4 and Switch, and Anno 1800 on PC and Xbox Series X and S. We also have Dark Pictures, Switchback VR on PlayStation VR 2. Then on the 17th, we've got a bunch of games coming out, including WWE 2K23 on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S. And then also Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, coming out on Switch. Thank you, Cereza. Coming out on Switch. Then on the 17th, we also have Peppa Pig, World Adventures. I bet you my niece is going to love that.
Is she a Peppa Pig fan?
That's coming. Well, my nephew has a Switch, so I'm not sure
Ah.
if he lets her play it, but
Mhm.
it comes out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. Toy Tactics also on the 17th in Steam Early Access for the PC. And then from the 17th and the 19th, we're going to have Diablo 4 out on beta early access. And I'm sure that Tim's going to be excited about that. And that's on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S. Then, a few days later, on the 21st, we have Remnant: From the Ashes on the Switch. Tchia Tchia on the PC, PS4, and PS5. Deceive Inc. on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And then on the 22nd, we have Have a Nice Death coming out on PC and the Switch.
I had to look this one up too, and it is another like take on Office situation. You play as the CEO of Death Incorporated, who is teetering on the edge of burnout. His top executives, the Sorrows, have been running rampant on Earth's surface,
I think I'm
leaving him
running the wrong.
buried in paperwork. So it is a 2D action roguelike, and the animation style is really stinking cute. It's done in mostly black and white with hints of color, and I think it looks fabulous.
There we go. Sorry, I had the wrong B-roll up, but here it is now for all of you lovely listeners. It's cute.
Looks really cute. Have a
I love
nice
how
day.
the skeleton is very like a little eye twitch, like he's so stressed out.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Have a nice death. So he's basically going to work and dealing with everybody's deaths. And it's
Yes.
like so stressful for him.
Poor little guy.
That's hilarious. I love it. Okay. I might have to play that. Where was I? Got all distracted.
Uh,
Storyteller on the 23rd, PC and the Switch, as well as Grappin on PC. Atelier Ryza 3: Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key on PS4, PS5, and Switch on the 23rd. And then on the 24th, we've got 4 games coming out. 4 games. Resident Evil 4 on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S. Out of the Park Baseball 24 on PC. EA Sports PGA Tour on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And then, again, Diablo 4 Open Beta from the 24th to the 26th. And that's on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S.
I'm wondering if I can talk Rick into doing a Resident Evil 4 stream.
Probably.
Because I want to watch the game, but I don't want to play the game. I want to see the game, but I'm too scared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9 Years of Shadows on PC comes out on March 27th. And then on the 28th, we've got a ton of games coming out, including Death Roads: Tournament Steam Early Access on PC, Crime Bros: Rockay City PC, MLB The Show 23, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch, The Last of Us Part 1 on PC, Colossal Cave, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, also Saifu, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Terra Nil, PC, iOS and Android. Scrolling. Last of Us Part 1, also on PC again. Thank you for the duplicate. Raidborn, Steam Early Access on PC comes out on March 29th. Forza Horizon 5, Rally Adventure Expansion on PC, Xbox One, Series X and S, March 29th. Total Tank Generals on the PC on March 30th, as well as Ravenbound PC, Mayhem in Single Valley, PS4, PS5. The Great War: Western Front on PC. Dredge on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and the Switch. Saga of Sins, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the Switch. And The Last Worker on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS, VR2, Switch, and PC. And last but certainly not least, Cosmonius High, coming out on the Quest. And that is the Oculus Quest, I assume?
I think so, yeah.
That's on March 31st, so.
I would like to point out that Crime Boss: Rockay City on March 28th is that game that had Chuck Norris and all of those extremely famous people in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do also have some PlayStation Plus monthly games to talk about. For March, you can find in the PlayStation free games category Battlefield 2044. You will also be able to get Minecraft Dungeons and Code Vein. And those are available to play from March 7th until Monday, April 3rd. So check those out. And then also we have some Xbox new games new games with gold. This is an $86 value in games that you'll have access to. From March 1st until the 31st, you'll be able to access Truber Brook, and also Sudden Strike, the complete collection. And then the last one that you'll have available from March 16th to April 15th is Lamentum. That will be available. So make sure you check out those games. Truber Brook is a $29 game. Sudden Strike is a $40 game. Lamentum is a $16 value. And then, lastly, for the March releases, we have Amazon Prime Gaming. And this is for the month of March, as I said. And I'm just looking to see where the list is. I don't want to see an entire article. I just want a list. I just want the list.
Let's see.
I don't know.
I think we have to watch the video for the list. But Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition is one of them. And that's probably the best one. Oh, the other 6 games include Adios and I Am Fish on March 9th, Faraway 3: Arctic Escape on March 16th, Books of Dungeons and Peaky Blinders: Mastermind on March 23rd, and City Legends: Trapping It in Mirror.
Have you
Collector's Edition.
Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
I have not. Is it good?
I haven't watched it, but I would suspect that it's quite good.
I've been wanting to play I Am Fish for the longest time. I need to just buckle down and play that game. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Yeah, you're a fish in like a in a bag, in a plastic bag.
It's from the I Am Bread people, except this time you're a fish. And it just looks so cute and silly and wholesome, and I want to play I Am Fish.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's the all of what's going on in March. There's going to be a quiz on this at the end of the show, so hopefully you took notes. But Shalene is going to take us through the rest of the more pressing matters, which is the rest of our news. Take it away, Shalene.
Indeed. And as always, huge shout out to Joseph Tao. We appreciate your help helping us compile the news every week. And we are going to start off with what I think is one of the bigger stories. Elden Ring has finally announced a DLC expansion. It will be called Shadow of the Erd Tree. And this is a Forbes article by Paul Tassi. So it seems inevitable, right, that Elden Ring would have some DLC. It was a huge success.
Yeah, big deal.
And it's been a year. The game's been out for a year, but they have now announced the DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree via a social media post. The Twitter post says, "Rise, tarnished, and let us walk a new path together." An upcoming expansion for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands between. And it includes, of course, an art piece. And this art piece is this big field with this person on a horse. They've got long flowing hair. The Erd Tree looks like it's bleeding some kind of yellow sap. And they are calling it an expansion, which tends to be bigger than a general DLC. So I would guess that this is going to be a pretty major add-on.
Yeah, agree.
I think we're going to see tons of content in this, probably new areas. And the person here writing speculates on whether or not this could be a $40 piece of content. I think that's entirely possible. I mean, it's too early to say, but usually things marketed as an expansion tend to be on the pricier side.
Interesting.
Um, and it does, I've seen a ton of speculation that the figure on the horse is Michaela, who is apparently the brother of Millennia, one of the I think she's the final boss of the game. I'll never know. I'm never gonna get that far into Elden Ring. We both know this.
I mean, if you do it, you'll be like in your retirement and you'll be like, yeah, I just
Yes.
jumped back into Elden Ring after 43 years.
Yes. I am still in a very early section of Elden Ring. I don't think I've unlocked a single achievement. I've done some running around and exploring, but I we all know I'm never gonna finish this game. But it looks promising, this new expansion. Elden Ring is something spectacular, and I'm glad that there's more content coming for all those Elden Ring fans out there.
I love that they just kind of like slipped it onto social media just
Mm-hmm.
nonchalantly, like, oh, hey, by the way, we have a new DLC coming. And everybody's like,
Indeed.
what? Oh my God. And they're like, yeah. So normally it's
Yes.
like a big deal, but I don't know. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see that there's some DLC. It seems like they're timing it right too, because I feel like a lot of people are actually finishing the game
Yes,
now.
I
And
think Rick recently just finished it for the first time. I think he hadn't beat the final boss prior to
so
just recently. So
the DLC is called Crown of the King Pitons. Is that what it's called?
no, no, no. It is called Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
I don't know where that other name came from.
Um,
Um,
Never mind.
yes.
I mean, it came from the Elden Ring YouTube channel, but I don't know.
It's called Shadow of the Erd
It's
Tree.
the
So
official
we have
Elden
that to
Ring
look
YouTube
forward to.
channel. I don't know.
They've led you wrong. They've led you wrong. But
Maybe they
yeah.
nonchalantly just dropped another DLC and we just like happened upon it.
Oh,
Anyways,
that's
we
amazing.
we
That's
here
amazing.
at We Just Love Games are never really truly known for facts. We are not known for our fact finding. We are known more for our beauty. But
So, speaking of beauty, that comes at the it's not easy to maintain this level of beauty that we exhibit here.
uh,
It takes a lot of beauty sleep to keep it up. And we will have a new way to track our beauty sleep vendor with Pokemon Sleep coming up this summer. Yes, first we had Pokemon Go. Now we have Pokemon Sleep.
Pokemon Sleep.
Pokemon Sleep. I'm so excited. I watched this trailer and I instantly, like, the first thing I did was I sent it to Archon and I was like, I am going to rule the leaderboards of this game.
Pokemon
I'm going
Sleep.
to be
Okay.
so good at it. Yes.
So tell us about this DLC.
So Pokemon Sleep it's going to be a new game, not a DLC. It is a new, well, I'm not sure if game is going to be a stretch of the term, but you will use the Pokemon Sleep app on your phone, or you can use a device called the Pokemon Plus. You'll sleep with it beside your pillow, and it will track your sleep patterns. It will track your sleep type, and apparently you will attract Pokemon to you as you sleep. And you will, based on your sleep type, you'll get different types of Pokemon. And apparently the little device also has Pikachu sing you lullabies, which I am pretty excited about. I definitely want the little device just so that Pikachu can sing me lullabies. And there will be some integration, I believe, with Pokemon Go. But I feel like this is another one of those times where Nintendo is trying to look out for our health. You know how Nintendo, we've talked about it in the past.
Well, I
Nintendo
mean,
is
it's
that
Pokemon
mom.
Go. Pokemon Go. And
Nintendo is that mom that is like slipping broccoli into the brownies, and we needed to be more active. So they brought us Pokemon Go. And now we are all stressed out and not sleeping and on the edge of our little ropes. And they have brought us Pokemon Sleep. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a zany thing. I think it'll be fun for a little while. Um, I of course don't think it's going to reach anywhere near the heights of Pokemon Go, but
No.
I do think I'm going to be incredibly good at this game, Thunder. I'm going
Part
to
of
be
me
so good at it.
part of me, Shalene, wonders if it's gonna go both ways. So people are gonna use it when they sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that there's also gonna be like a whole subset of people that just lay in bed all day trying to catch Pokemon, right? Because like let's be clear. There are some of us out there who are addicted to catching Pokemon and will do anything and everything to try to catch them. And if laying down and putting the phone next to you is what you need to do to catch Pokemon in Pokemon Sleep, then I can see this going the wrong way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I think Nintendo is just trying to get us to calm down, get some rest. Come on, people, get some rest. And yeah, I think you're likely right.
The other argument that I would make is that the whole point of getting a good night's sleep is to have a routine and not put the phone in front of your face before you
Right.
go to sleep. And all
Mm-hmm.
these people using Pokemon Sleep are going to be interacting with their phones right before bed.
Yes, it may
So
cause issues with the circadian rhythm, et cetera, et
what
cetera.
what issues what percentage of people are going to be going onto their phone to start the Pokemon Sleep app but getting distracted by TikTok and Twitter
Mm.
and other games and so like I don't know. Anyways,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
I'm I'm that mom. I'm the other mom slipping other things into brownies.
Oh, okay.
So
I
I think it's a cool
definitely,
idea though,
yeah.
and like we've seen Nintendo do exercise and personal well being in the past with the Wii. I think was really one of the first. Well, actually, no. If you think back, if you really think back to it, Duck Hunt and other
Hmm.
forms of interactive Nintendo games on the original NES was active, you know?
Yes.
Like there was a
Mhm.
I think there was a tennis racket for the NES too, wasn't there?
Was there? I don't remember that.
Maybe I'm thinking of the
There
Wii.
may have been. There may have been.
So it's always been part of their vision, I
Um,
think. Yeah.
hmm. Yeah.
It's really cool though that they're sort of gamifying sleep. I'm curious to see what that's going to be. I don't know if that's a good
I
idea.
really do think that this is, I have the potential to be the best player in the world at this game.
She's 2 weeks from now when we do a show, Shalene's like, I got them all. I got them all already, you guys. It only took me 10 days.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Sulior in chat says track and field on the NES had a running pad. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
We weren't rich enough. I went to someone else's house to play the NES. So,
Yeah.
anyways, well,
Okay.
what else is up your sleeve?
So trying to do the clever segue, not getting there. Nintendo is not going to be at E3. So yeah. It was rumored that none of the big three are going to be appearing at E3. And Nintendo has confirmed
Yeah.
it. They said in a statement that it didn't fit into its event plans and they will have no presence on the show floor. And I quote, we approach our involvement in any event on a case by case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision not to participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA and E3. So we will see how that affects E3. I never did register. I need to do
Well, I
that.
mean, you missed the
I
segue.
mean, yeah.
Nintendon't do E3.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nintendon't do E3.
It
That's
was
I'm a dummy.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, are you increasingly becoming less motivated to attend E3?
Not at all. Because based on my previous experiences at E3, um, these them having a presence on the show floor is not that important in terms of them doing press conferences that coincide with the week of E3. You know,
Okay.
that's a thing that always happens. Hey, we just happen to be having a massive showcase this random week in June for no particular reason at all. Entirely unaffiliated with E3. Um, Nintendo had a booth on the show floor in 2019, I think was the last E3 that was in person. And the lines were just ludicrous. I didn't go because I don't have time for that. Who's got time for that? Um, and
Even if I did have
I
time,
didn't miss it. Yeah.
I'm not a line person. I don't like to stand in. I queued
Mm-hmm.
at Wimbledon in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the largest, most colossal line I've ever waited in
Yeah.
my life. We were there at
Mm-hmm.
like 5 a.m. and we didn't get in till like 11.
Right. Right.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just
yeah.
I for me the value of E3 is in making appointments to get those behind the scenes demos, to get those behind closed doors demos of upcoming games.
Yeah.
That's the real value of E3.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make much difference to me whether or not Nintendo will be on the show floor.
That's
So
fair. That's fair. Okay.
yeah, we'll see.
Hmm.
And let's see. Our next article is a VentureBeat article written by Rachel Kaiser. EA Motive has partnered with Marvel on 3 games, starting with Iron Man. And we don't know for sure what the other 2 titles will be. It is rumored that one of them will star Black Panther. Um, Marvel, of course, is the studio that made Battlefront 2, the new one, and the Star Wars Squadrons game. I think they also did the new Dead Space remake. I believe they did work on that.
Nice.
And this Iron Man title has reportedly entered the playtesting phase, and some testers will be getting their hands on the game to offer feedback on the plot points and game mechanics. It will be an original story about Iron Man and will tap into the rich history of the character, channeling the complexity, charisma, and creative genius of Tony Stark. These are action adventure titles for both PC and console. And Joseph Tao sometimes adds a little commentary on to the news articles. And for this one, he said, please don't do huge segments of playing the game as Tony without an Iron Man suit. And I laughed. I laughed when I saw this because I would love like a visual novel starring Tony Stark. I would love that. I would probably play. I would be way more likely to play that than the game where you're flying around as Iron Man. I mean, I'm just gonna get motion sick trying to do the Iron Man flying around thing.
Goodness.
So I had to laugh just thinking what wildly different demographics we are. Everybody's different.
Yeah, it's so funny, and like when you play games with other people and you see how they play and how you play, and that's all part of the experience. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you much of a Marvel fan?
No, but my partner loves the movies.
Uh-huh.
Loves Marvel movies, and I feel so out of the loop because
Yeah.
I've only watched like the 1996 version of Michael Keaton's Batman.
It's DC. That's DC, buddy.
Oh, see?
Oh no.
Case in point. Spider-Man.
Yes.
The 2000 the
Spider-Man.
2002 version of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
I mean, that's the only Spider-Man you need, right?
Yeah, it's
It's the
true.
only one I've watched as well. So,
Yeah, I'm not I mean there's just so it's so overdone. It's so terribly overdone, you guys.
I really like all of the Marvel movies that I've seen. The thing is there's 85 billion of them
Right?
and it's overwhelming.
It's
And
too
I'd like to
much.
watch all of them, but I mean, like Archon gave me a list, and it's gonna take us the rest of our lives. We're gonna be little old people in the old folks' home, and still trying to make our way through these. Like, what's next? Is it Loki season 3? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but um, I do like that we are starting to see some promising Marvel video games. So we'll see. Our next several articles deal with the Microsoft Activision um, acquisition.
Right. Right.
And this is a gamesindustry.biz article written by Brendan Sinclair. The European Union is likely to approve the Microsoft deal. Reuters sources are confirming that they have 3 people familiar with the matter who indicate that the pledges to keep Call of Duty available through platforms and services owned by other companies will be sufficient to satisfy the Commission's concerns. And a quote from a Microsoft spokesperson says, our commitment to grant long-term 100% equal access to Call of Duty to Sony, Steam, NVIDIA, and others preserves the deal's benefit to gamers and developers and increases competition in the market.
Hmm.
Um, which, of course, is what Microsoft is going to say. And I just, yeah, this brings it closer to happening. Joseph is very strongly opposed to this. He had some commentary. He disagrees greatly because Microsoft went back on their promises following the Bethesda purchase. And he is right. They were talking about keeping Bethesda games open, but of course we know that's no longer going to be the case. They will be Microsoft exclusives going forward. But as part of this whole thing, we're also looking at the FTC is addressing Sony's objections to Microsoft, and Microsoft has attempted to subpoena a number of internal documents of Sony's, and several of them have been granted. So just to go through this, they are going to get access to a ton of Sony's documents.
How can why?
This is so that they can look through them in terms of building their argument for the Activision acquisition. So, um,
Huh.
yes, they issued the subpoena requesting access to documents and information to assist them with their defense against the FTC. And of course, Sony opposed the subpoena. They described Microsoft's requests as harassment, which I think is a little much. But Sony and Microsoft have met to discuss these objections on 5 separate occasions. And Microsoft was making the argument that this information around Sony's PlayStation business will help address concerns over the impact of its ownership, that its ownership of Activision Blizzard would have on competition in the video game space.
Hmm.
So there was a request by Sony to withhold content licensing agreements, and that was denied in part. So Microsoft will be able to access some of these. They insisted that these documents would help address allegations around exclusivity arrangements with game publishers. Because exclusivity is one of the many concerns that the FTC has about this proposed acquisition. So they will be using these Sony's exclusivity as a support to their own exclusivity, of course.
Interesting.
And Microsoft also wanted to look at employee performance reviews and evaluations. Sony denied that, and Sony was upheld on this one. And
Who
this
is the
one I
judge?
think was a
Who's the
real
judge?
reach.
Who is the judge on this, and how much is Microsoft paying them?
Right. But Sony did win out on this account. They will not have to share those with Microsoft. I really do think that was a stretch. I don't know how they're arguing. They contended that this information was required to understand the metrics on which Sony Interactive Entertainment's executives and businesses are evaluated. But the FTC stressed that this was not an employment case, so these metrics had no logical connection to its complaint, and
Well, I
Sony
mean,
will not have to give up
yeah,
those
Microsoft is
evaluations.
just swinging the hammer hard, right? They're going
That
for
that
everything.
one's a little much, yeah. Um, and Microsoft requested to have access to Jim Ryan's declaration to the FTC, including all drafts regarding the proposed acquisition. Sony did not protest that the information is relevant, but they insisted that there was nothing in these documents that Microsoft did not already have access to. And the FTC denied Sony's requests, so Microsoft will have access to that. To me, that makes sense.
Okay.
They did grant Sony's request to limit the time period of the search. Microsoft's search focuses on documents from January the 1st of 2019 onwards, but 10 of the specific requests made required information from 2012 onwards. And Sony argued that documents that were that old were not at all relevant to this case. And Microsoft did not make a good case for why they would need such old documents. So nothing before 2019 is going to be relevant. I feel like Microsoft has sort of, they're taking advantage of this situation to try and get uh, some industrial espionage done. You know what I mean? I feel like they're really overreaching. There was a request to limit the scope of the custodial search, and that was denied. So the subpoena focuses on searching custodial records from January 1st, 2019 onwards. And some of the people whose files have been requested joined after the date. And Sony requested that the search be focused on only their records after their employment began.
That's so bizarre.
It is. I'm going to skip a couple of these because I don't think they're really. Um, the rest of it is not super relevant to what we were talking about, so we're going to skip the rest of that. But I am really interested in seeing what comes out as a result of these documents being shared. I would like to see if we end up getting some inside information on how Sony has been handling things. I wonder if this will affect how Microsoft approaches things going forward. Um, I do feel like they are sort of using this as a chance for some industrial espionage. But
Well, litigation discovery is a absolute pain in the butt
mm-hmm,
and should probably be avoided.
absolutely,
Should probably be
yeah.
avoided at all costs. I'm surprised that Sony has picked this fight the way that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it kind of makes me wonder like what they have to lose
Indeed,
that we don't know
right.
about, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I Microsoft lawyers are gonna they're gonna bulldoze. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
bulldoze, and I think by the end of this, if they actually get Activision, they'll make Call of Duty probably exclusive just to spite Sony.
Of course they will.
And
Of
then they'll
course
and
they
then
will.
yeah. So um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So our next thing is really not news as much as it is a rumor. And it is also connected to the acquisition in a way. So this is a report that Sony is reportedly preparing to buy Take-Two Interactive as sort of a response to the Activision acquisition by Microsoft. And that would be huge if it happened. But of course, this is only based on rumors. It was basically someone on Twitter who claimed they had some inside information. What do you think it would mean for the industry vendor if Sony bought Take Two?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Um, Eventually, there's just going to be like two or three massive companies that own all of these indie developers and smaller studios.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's how it should be. I really don't think that's how it should be.
I agree.
Um, and, there are people who support Microsoft like it's a religion. And I think that that's a kind of a bad way to look at it.
And people who
It's
go to bat for Sony just the same way.
exactly. Yeah. And um, there needs to be healthy diversification in the industry if you want it to become um, economical and
Mm-hmm.
productive. I'm not necessarily sold on a small number of companies owning everything.
Indeed, I quite agree. I think that the more the industry consolidates, it will likely be worse for gamers.
And the thing
So,
is like there's like a tipping point when it with these things. Like eventually Microsoft and Sony are going to own so many video game studios and games that are published that we're ultimately going to purchase, that the amount of revenue that they're going to make um that we don't know about is going to be huge, because we're seeing with Microsoft that they're buying these smaller studios, but they're not actually changing the name.
mm-hmm.
They're keeping it the same. So people are buying a particular brand because they support and are loyal to that brand, unwillingly knowing that it's actually owned by Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't pay attention to the news or the current events, they're not going to know that those studios are owned by Microsoft. Or
Right.
and some people just don't pay attention to those things. Some people don't care about it, whatever. Um, but it's I mean, we see the same thing with grocery stores, right? Loblaws, for example, owns like, what is it? Loblaws owns Superstore, the Real Canadian Superstore, No Frills, Wholesale Foods, Safeway, and like all these other companies. I'm listing Canadian ones obviously, but I think they have some American companies as well.
Right.
Um and we all, like, some people will shop at Fry's, um, or Vaughn's because they support or they think that that business is better, not realizing that the two are owned by the same company.
Right. Right.
So it's like Best Buy and Future Shop, right? Um, Anyways, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's all I have for the news.
Okay. Let's hop into the stocks. It has been a wild week in the stock market, Shalene. Sony is up $3.03. Microsoft up 607. I should say Sony closed out at 85.74 compared to previous week 82.71. Microsoft up $6.07, closing at 255.29. Nintendo down just 6 cents at 9.53. Take-Two Interactive up $13.40, closing at $116.70. Activision up $2.57 at $79.39. Ubisoft closing at $22.89, up $1.53. EA up $3.38, closing at $113.15. And Tencent up $3.52, closing out at $47.12. And analysts are saying now, Shalene, that there's two video game stocks that people should be paying attention to. Electronic Arts stock hasn't done much for investors over the last few years, with shares falling more than 9.7% over the last few years. More recently, though, investors have been losing patience as shares have slipped 10% year to date on the back of a tough third quarter. The company came up short in the third quarter with $2.50 Missing the $3.05 consensus in revenue was also missing as well. But this might actually point to a good chance for people to consider EA as a viable stock. Cancellations and shutdowns aren't necessarily helping EA stock amid this tailspin, but the decrease in the stock price could actually create a buyer's incentive, so to speak. Activision is the second stock that is now a new recommendation based on analysts. Activision Blizzard is arguably one of the strongest video game players in the US market, and the company is at a crossroads right now, as we just talked about with Microsoft, and is looking to do everything it can to get regulators to approve its $69 billion acquisition. And this is people should remain largely bullish on this particular stock. Recent Activision analysts suggest that it's relatively low chance that Microsoft may get permission to buy, but we're still speculating that on that, of course. The stock is nowhere near close to its $95 per share takeover level, and regardless of what happens, it's clear that Activision Blizzard is a very sought-after target, given its top-tier gaming assets. They did finish off 2022 with a bang thanks to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which set new sales records. And, you know, in an era of affordable video game subscriptions, it's actually getting a lot harder to compete for pure play firms that are anything short of truly exceptional. So, you know, things like at the end of the day, there's always going to be a place for splurging on a single title. But such titles tend to cost considerable sums to develop, and the return on investment varies greatly. So Activision seems to be one of those better contenders that are able to command a greater return on investment. And for that reason, analysts are recommending that this be a good buy or consideration to buy. So those are just some two stocks. Up next, we've got some mail.
You've got mail.
What's on our mail stack?
Right. This week we have an entry from RTZ13. Hiya, it's me again. I have a question. I hear often the topic debated regarding how you can trust reviews and how can they help you decide what to play next. The thing I usually believe is that every single review is just a personal opinion of the reviewer. Unless this person has a record of game scores that align with your feelings towards those games, that's what I call a match. A game can receive both a 1 and a 10 from different outlets, but that's the part where you need to grab a pen, and if you agree with the person who wrote that 10, make a note and start following their work, whether it be news articles, YouTube, podcasts, etc. He says, remember when the AirPods came out? Half the people praised the thing for sound quality. The other half hated them because they kept falling out of their ears. Those were the days when we got a full review of every tech reviewer's ears, more than we did the actual product.
I mean, that's accurate. That's accurate.
It is. As the person who you are today, who do you follow and trust to help you with your next games to play, or to check if you should really put that new thing on your backlog? And he says that his favorite reviewer has recently become Mortismal Gaming on YouTube. That's Mortismal Gaming on YouTube.
Okay.
This guy generally reviews the games that I'm interested in, and also only does the review after 100%ing everything. That way he can weed out all the positives, negatives, and if it's really worth sinking all those hours into the game. I'm not sure about his lifestyle, but he reaches this 100% days after the game releases. An example, his favorite game is Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. He got all the 110 achievements and it took him 549 hours.
Wow.
Wow. That man is thorough. Respect, sir. Respect. Yeah, I absolutely agree with RTZ in that reviews are one person's opinion, and you can't, no review is going to satisfy everyone. No review is going to match everyone else's opinion. There is no uh, end all be all when it comes to reviews. You just need to find someone who has similar opinions, who likes the same type of things, and who plays games in the same way. And it looks like RTZ has found that in this YouTuber, because I think he's pretty much a completionist as well. Um, I don't really have any professional reviewers currently that I follow in terms of that I put a lot of faith in. But I've found that I base my opinions more on the opinions of my friends, the people that I know, the people in my community. Um, because anytime that a game comes out that I'm interested in, now our community has grown so much that I definitely know people who are playing it. So I can just ask, "Hey Jess, is that fun? Have you been playing that? You check that out?" And, "Hey vendor, I saw you were playing this. What did you think of it?" And I feel like that is the ideal way for me, because just because a game is a quality game, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a game for me.
Okay.
um and when you play a game, Shalene's gonna hate this or Shalene's gonna love this, and those things are not necessarily related to if the game is quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's yeah. What's your opinion? What do you think?
yeah. So first and foremost, I come from a scientific background.
Yeah.
So I look at things very empirically. And I try to systematically understand the world around me through that evidence. And I think reviews are like editorials and opinion pieces, wildly
Mm-hmm.
fraught with bias. Um, and, you know, a good example of this is companies sending games or hardware or software to reviewers to get them to review their product. Um,
Right.
Before they even do the review, they're already biased because they were gifted this free copy or version of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there is somewhat of a power dynamic that exists
And
between the
sometimes it's
reviewer
more than
and
just the
the
free copy. Sometimes there are additional gifts that go along with it.
hats and sweaters and whatever. Yeah. So um I think any review is generally going to be biased in some way, but I also don't I'm look at myself as more of like a somebody who thinks that their objectivity is not achievable ever. There's
Mm-hmm.
always a certain level of bias in anything and everything
Absolutely.
that we do, even in science, right? And so I look at reviews in that way with my science hat on it, and just know that they're super biased. I think that reviews can play a good part in explaining to people what games are about, and also identifying some issues with games that would be common things that people would perceive as an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a new game comes out and then there's mechanical issues. Well, I'm going to want to know what kind of
Yes.
issues are present in the brand new game that just released before I buy it. I'm not really concerned with what somebody likes or doesn't like in terms of content. I'm more concerned with, does it work?
Right. Right.
Um,
That's an important thing that reviews do address as well.
yeah, yeah. When it comes to friends playing games and friend recommendations, I don't know if I necessarily ascribe to purchasing a game based on a friend's recommendation anymore. Only because I've been burned in the past on that.
Yes. Yes.
So
You
so
really have.
and that's not to say that my friends don't recommend good games. It means that they have different tastes in games than I do. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and vice versa. So I don't necessarily think that friends are a good barometer for whether or not I would like a game. Um, but it can work to a certain extent. I think that if friends know you well enough, they will recommend games that they
Mm-hmm.
think that you'll like, and
Right.
the likelihood of you actually liking it is a good thing. And if you're actively looking for a new game to play, why not take them on their suggestion?
Indeed.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm all over the place when it comes to my opinion on that. Um,
Yeah.
in terms of like how I come to making a purchase on a game, I would say that it really has to be my own choice.
Hmm.
Um, and I review the way I make a decision to buy a game is I go on Twitch and I see other people playing it.
Yes. That is such
Yeah.
a big influence
Yeah.
if you're wanting to play, and that's something that I've done often as well, is if I'm on the fence about a game, I'll go watch someone else play it on Twitch for a while, and that gives me the knowledge of whether or not it's
Yeah.
going to be for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's
Well,
super helpful. Like for Hogwarts, for example, actually, that kind of led me to the decision that I don't really want to play it. I might pick it up on a
yeah.
sale, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money to play this game.
Yeah.
And that was because of watching people play it on Twitch. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, RTZ, for writing in. We appreciate you being the MVP of the mail stack. And if you would like to write in just like RTZ then did, how would you do that, Vendertron?
you can join our Discord if you're not already in there and hop over to the Mailstack channel and just post your message there. It's the easiest way. If you are not in our Discord and you are anti-Discord, you can always send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com. We check that as well.
Indeed. Thank you.
So that is Mailstack. Let's hop into what the community is playing.
Yes, I'm excited.
Our favorite time, screenshots and stories. And these first two screenshots are from me. Please explain this to the listeners.
Oh my gosh, there's some kind of like green crab monster with big scary teeth and a spider-like face, and he's spitting acid, but he has big goofy googly eyes.
Yeah.
And there's a little teeny one behind him with big goofy googly
I've got
eyes.
another shot of it here. Here it is.
Oh my gosh, look at those spiders wearing googly eyes. That is so cute.
So
Oh my gosh.
Jess and I discovered mods for Deep Rock Galactic,
Mhm.
and we added the googly eye mod to enemies. So
I love it.
it makes them all have googly eyes, and it's absolutely hilarious and makes it
This is wonderful.
way easier to handle
Mhm.
in terms of scariness.
Absolutely wonderful.
We also added another mod that allows you to have your own mule, so you don't have to share a mule. A mule is this little robot doggy that carries all your stuff around with
Ah,
you. So, but yeah,
cute.
it was the best. Um, this next image comes to us from Taz. He says this is the SS GameStack making a stop at the orbiting trade station, picking up ammo for her Expanse-inspired PDC guns, so as to protect them from space pirates and the occasional Reaver, who have invaded this universe. Yes, Reavers from the Firefly universe. And then this
Fantastic.
is in a terrible sequence. This is the preceding image. He says SS GameStack on her maiden flight and shakedown run. Once she is ready, SS GameStack will set out to build another outpost either on Mars, Triton, aka Planet Hoth Twin, or an alien planet. I leave it to the community to choose where to go next.
Spread that game
So,
stack.
and for our listeners, it's this glorious ship. And it's kind of green and it's got some white stripes on it. Looks good. I like it. And this next image comes to us from Frankie. And it's a picture of a horse in a field. And there's two people and they're standing on the other side of this rock fence. This is actually in Titan Quest. And she says she only managed to play about 30 minutes, but she rescued this horse. And it looks super cute. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here? This one, it's a little bit dark for you to see. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead a bit because I think there's a sequence here. This first one shows a cave-like structure, and there's different levels, and parts of it are lit up, and there's people, and like looks like there's like storage areas and stuff like that. It's from RTZ13. And he says, after some time, my brain decided that it really misses isometric games. That led me back to my previous playthrough of Baldur's Gate. After becoming the hero of the city of Baldur's Gate, some additional threat needed to be dealt with in the form of a DLC. And this image here is of the ruins of a castle, and it looks like there's a battle getting ready to take place as well. And then he also includes this other one of sort of more castle ruins, but of like dragon bones.
Yeah,
there's like a dragon skeleton.
Couple of collapsed yeah. There's his wings. Okay. It's wings.
Yeah. This one here, he says, of course, the team has been successful. However, some sneaky background characters managed to get our hero to kill the daughter of the city's leader by using some illusion. No evidence was enough to prove our innocence, though. And it's kind of cool. There's like a image and people are crowded around a main street. And there's some dialogue as well there. We won't read it, though, for time. And then the last image that he's included says, however, with the help of some still loyal to us, we escaped jail, promised not to return. We gathered the party to venture forth to Baldur's Gate 2. And it's an image of his troop.
Yeah.
His troop in the forest.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It's great.
And then that is that. I do have a video from Alex that she sent in. She says, we've had an interesting go at It Takes Two. Zephyr and I had to take several minutes to even breathe again after this, and then repeated the event at least twice. I'm just going to play the video while I read it. And I'll mute it as well. However, we had to keep getting run over in this mystery. It's sort of paused there. So it's basically like the two of them, and they're in a car, and they are trying to get up this slide, but the car keeps exploding, and they keep getting run over by the car.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
We have to go back to that.
We really do need to finish that game.
Yeah. Anyways, that is what the community has been playing. If you would like to send us a screenshot and or a story, please do so. Screenshots and Stories channel in the Discord. We love to hear from you. And we're actually caught up now on all our screenshots. So
fantastic.
I know, right? Anyways, let's hop into the last part of our show, what we're playing. And I see in the show notes, Shalene, you haven't been up to anything.
Not really, no. I've done a very, very small amount of Fallout 76 homework. The new season started. I haven't even made it to rank 1 yet. Mostly, I've just been trying not to die IRL. So very sick.
Truth. Well, I finished Cyberpunk. That was the thing. That's pretty much it.
Very pregnant pause there.
Yeah, finished it. Done. Honestly, I was underwhelmed. It was okay. I mean, there's 3 main paths that you can take for the end. And I sided with the nomads, the Elderados, I don't know. Pan Am is the, and it was okay. I mean, it was I don't know. There was a lot of dialogue, and I just wasn't feeling the dialogue. I was hoping that there was going to be like missions where you go through all these places and there's like things that you got to fight, and there kind of was, but it was underwhelming.
Right.
I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go back and do another playthrough, at least not at this time. And that's because I felt that the world was really sort of lacking in terms of its openness. Cyberpunk claims to be an open world, and you can drive around and stuff like that, but you can't, there's not a lot you can interact with. There's some bars and stuff, but like I can't go up to a food stand where they're making sushi and order and sit down and have sushi. Which, I mean, you would expect that would be a thing, but it's not. I don't know. Anyways, I could just be biased because I'm sort of in a cranky time in life right now. So, but that's pretty much it. Finished some Cyberpunk, and I haven't been playing a whole lot of any games this week. I've been so focused on work. My pedals came in for Truck Sim, so
Mm-hmm.
I've got those mounted onto my silly rig that I have here.
Yes.
Um, but I haven't got them working in the software yet.
Right,
I'm
right.
having some sort of connection issue, and I'm not sure if it's a driver's thing or if it's a Windows thing or what it is, but I have tried every USB port on my PC and it
Mm.
will not recognize these pedals. So I'm super discouraged and a little bit annoyed by that.
Yeah.
I,
Hopefully
you
you
know,
don't have too much more trouble working that out.
well, and you buy these things and you pay, an arm and a leg for them. And I waited 3 weeks for the shipping. Um, and you would sort of expect them to be like a plug and play. And that is not the case here.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. I'm going to step away from it, get my patience back, and maybe come back to it tomorrow morning or something. For now,
That sounds like a
I've
good call.
actually, Carlo got a Disney Plus subscription and gave me the login. So
Ooh.
I've started a rewatch of X Files. So probably going to dive into some X Files tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Anyways, that's show. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a show.
We are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget, you can send us some mail, pop it in the mail stack channel in the Discord, or send us an email, info@wejustlove.games.com. We're also on Twitter at We Just Love Games, Shalene at Shalene L, myself at Vendertron N. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games. /group / We Just Love Games. We're also on a Discord. If you scroll down right below in the Twitch page, you can get access to the Discord. We record the show live, hopefully every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We're also on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Please like, subscribe, review the show. We'd love to hear what you think. And thank you all for listening. Shalene, have you got your last word for tonight?
It's not the best choice. It's GameStack's choice.
Good night, all.